Hey, and welcome back to Parrot Gaming Productions, where my name is Jared, and this week on we have a guy by the name of Nate. Nate, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself too.
Hello, I'm Nate. I've been gaming for my entire life, and this is my first time interacting with a stranger on a podcast. So let's see how this goes.
Nothing wrong with contacting strangers on the internet, right?
Yeah, totally safe.
To Catch a Predator couldn't have been that true, could it?
Jeez.
I love Chris Hansen. I'm sorry, like I listened to
Take a
like
seat right here.
yeah, he's got a podcast actually out where he talks about the predators and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit more in depth. It's not as good as the TV show, but I think it's all right.
Right. Yeah, I saw one on Reddit a couple days ago where like they felt bad about the guy during filming,
Well, it's
where he was just like, "My life is terrible, and I might as well just jump off a cliff." And they were like, "You should go get help."
well, was that the dude with the cowboy hat and trench coat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that was okay.
That was kind of sad.
It was very very sad. There's a guy they caught in Michigan that they actually felt even a little bit more sad about. He was 18 though, and the girl he was talking to, the quote unquote, I can't think of the name now. The quote unquote decoy. There we go. The decoy
Okay.
that they were talking to was like 16 or something like that. I guess they like nabbed him with a 16-year-old, but that's always been an interesting point for To Catch a Predator, because I was always like, how do they get away with it? Because technically nobody's there. It's not that, because like to me that feels a little like entrapment. I'm not saying it's correct. It's horrible, but like you can't sit outside a bar, and watch somebody leave the bar and then tag them for drunk driving.
Right.
But how does that come out? And a lot of the people that were arguing about the whole like 18-year-old one was like, he literally just graduated high school, where he was walking the halls with like 16-year-old girls and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. For
Yeah.
all we know, he could have been dating a 16-year-old. So,
Yeah. So like that was weird.
it depends on the state, but also at the same time, if you're going in it with the intent of seeking out a youth, that can be frowned upon.
No, but that dude that you're talking about, he is. I think he did a podcast about it, and the guy is weird as shit. The guy.
Oh, I
That's
believe it.
horrible.
I
Jesus.
mean, he showed up with the cowboy hat, and I don't know, man.
It was funny because a lot of people point that out. They're like, "Dude, change who you are. Change up the way you dress." Like, yeah, chicks don't want you because you look like you're coming straight out of Columbine, man. It's horrible.
Yeah, just get your hair done, trim up a tiny bit, get a couple new shirts, and just don't show up to strangers' houses with a giant cowboy hat.
Yeah. I remember he was talking about his weight. It's like, dude, go for a walk. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've known people. I've seen people change their ways. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time.
Different podcast.
Yeah, different podcast. I mean, I wouldn't mind touching on it, but I start off with video games. Damn it, and I'm gonna do that. So Mass
No
Effect
problem.
Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
Were you a OG Mass Effect or? Okay, so I want to hear how you got into Mass Effect. Like, how did you get introduced?
Oh man. I mean, I pre-ordered the first one and got it launch day. Even from the hype building up from like official Xbox magazine, stuff
Really?
like that. Just way back in the day. I'm somewhat of a sci-fi nerd, but I've also just been a huge fan of BioWare RPGs in general. And the two of those together seemed great. Yeah, and I think I put in the original trilogy, I probably put like 200-ish hours
Good lord,
between all three games.
damn man, what? I gotta ask, what was your character? Was it male, female, shepherd, and what did you run as?
In the original, I ran male shepherd, and I just did the bionics class.
Really, a
Um,
bionic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then in the remake now, I'm doing fem shep,
Yeah.
keeping it on the original canon, so they
Yeah.
say. And then I'm just sniping everyone in the face.
Oh, so infiltrator. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I went over this in a previous podcast, but I always play as female shepherd. I feel like if I have the option to play as a female character, I just do. I don't know why,
Same.
but like they threw out the statistics on like everything, and apparently the the Sentinel, the Vanguard, the more heavily biotic characters are less played, and a lot of people choose like Soldier and Engineer and Infiltrator a little bit more often than not. So
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, even though the shooting's not the best in a sense,
yeah,
like it's competent enough, but it doesn't hold its ground to like a Halo or a Call of Duty or something in terms of just general engagement for a shooter. It's good enough to the point where I think some people just play it as a shooter and don't really want to deal with abilities and cooldowns and stuff like that.
yeah, no, that's fair to say. What did you? Because I know this was a topic that I felt really mad about. Is that when they made the transition from Mass Effect 1 to 2, they went from the infinite ammo to thermal clips. Did
Yeah.
that spark you a little bit, or?
Actually, yeah. Well, in the Legendary Edition, I'm only like partially through two. I took a break to play way too much Path of Exile. And just, like I forgot about that transition when I went between games, and I got to the second one. It was like, wait, like I'm out of ammo. It's like, what are we doing here? How does the future get worse? Like we have infinite ammo with cooldowns, and now we have ammo again. It seems like a step backwards.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of getting used to. Like in games like that where you turn up the difficulty and everything is like super spongy. I think the unlimited ammo system would have been slightly more manageable. It was kind of annoying in the middle of a fight to have to look around for like random ammo to spawn.
Yeah.
That seemed a little unnecessary. They could have been at least more forgiving with like magazine size, at the very least.
Yeah. I do love your shirt though, because this is Doom, and that brings me to a topic of ammo that I remember. I never played the original Doom.
Oh God, I was raised on that.
Like I listened to the first Doom track because there was a big hype around Doom Eternal. I was like, this seems like a kind of game that I might want to play. And so when Eternal came out, I started playing that, and I'm like, the fuck's my ammo? Where is it? What? And it's like chainsaw enemies in half to get your ammo. It's like, that seems a little weird.
Did you play 2016?
No, I didn't play 2016.
Okay.
I've only ever played Doom Eternal, and I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of the genre. Like, it seems really dope, but like, when it's gore to be gore, that's kind of where I draw the line. Because I'm like, I'm not so happy about that. I'm not that big into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was right after I finished 2016 Doom. It was right before Doom Eternal came out. And then I just kind of held off just to see how a few reviews were, and I guess the general reaction I heard was people having a problem with ammo because it was a more demanding like gameplay loop, where you fire 10 shots, then you chainsaw someone, then you hook chain someone else, and then you punch someone to get your health back, and you just do that over and over again. Yep. And it forced you to use specific guns more often than the first one did, which is something that kind of turned me off. The first one I just played through with the shotgun because it's the best weapon in every FPS. Well, it should be the best weapon in every FPS. And I loved 2016 Doom. It was phenomenal. But Doom Eternal, I probably got halfway through it maybe. And I was like, okay, like I'll come back to this. I'm in no rush. It didn't hook me like the first one did.
It's strange that you say that. Like, that's what I feel about quite a few single player games that are expansive, that are as expansive as like the Legendary Edition, or something like Doom, where you're gonna play for like a minute, and I find myself like partway through, part 3 in the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, and still I'm just like I don't know. I just can't. Like I'm trying to get back into it, but I can't do it. It's
Right.
just you find yourself engrossed in other games. Like right now, I'm back into Fallout 3 playing as
Oh,
Xena.
nice.
Xena Skywalker. I found a mod for a lightsaber, and so I'm running around stabbing people with lightsabers and shooting them with blasters. So I mean, it's kind of dumb, but at the same time, I don't know. Just you find yourself jumping around a lot. I did
And
see,
Fallout 3 is just a great game.
yeah, I did see that you played 12 minutes. I played a fair bit of it. Have you beaten it?
I just rolled credits this morning, actually.
Really?
Uh, yeah, I got it on Friday. Played a little bit after work, and then just casually dabbled here and there over the weekend. Um, how far are you?
Uh,
I
we
guess are we avoiding spoilers here? Well, I mean, if you haven't beaten it, like I'll definitely stay away from that stuff.
Oh no, I didn't actually play it. A friend of mine bought it, and we played it like she was streaming it on Discord, and I was playing with her, which is
Okay, okay.
because
Cool.
the game is not up my alley. I'm more of a first person kind of guy, but like I'll watch somebody play a third
Right.
person. But like I've gotten to the point where we were able to subdue William Defoe. I'll just kind of
Yeah.
come out and say that we are able to subdue William Defoe, and then all of a sudden she had to go pick up her dog. But like it's so interesting how you like it's almost like a timing thing where you got to just time things out.
Oh yeah, every little detail in that game. I got to a point where I felt like, and this is like really my one problem with the game, is if one like process doesn't occur to you at one point in the game, you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Like you have nothing to do. You can't, if you don't think of doing this one thing, there's no way to like brute force yourself into that scenario outside of doing that one thing.
Mm.
And I guess it would have been nice to see more branching paths that had the same outcome rather than having to be like, oh, I have to, do a certain thing to get Willem Dafoe knocked down or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Like the way that we figured out, like it was funny because we almost subconsciously figured out how to subdue William Defoe, but at the same time, like we were trying to recreate it, and we're like, well, how the fuck did we do that? Like, it just the experimentation and then the reset, and it was a little frustrating, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it was fun. Like it was a fun game to just try to dabble with something and figure it out.
I wish there was a fast forward button.
Yeah,
Just
Like-
slightly. Like there's times in the game where the main character will say like, now we wait and time will pass or something like that. But I wish I could just double time for like 5 seconds just to get an animation through a little faster, something like that. But
It's like I know how to do this first part. Let's get to the fast forward.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was all right.
Is it a satisfactory ending? Like, is it something that you feel complete with?
Uh, that the ending's messed up. I'll just leave it at that.
All right, all right.
There's a few different endings.
Oh, it's multiple endings.
Yeah, I believe I've seen 3-ish. I guess. The story gets weird.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
All right. I guess.
Yeah.
Weird's good, I guess. Then
Yeah,
I don't.
finish the game. I think if you're at that point, I think it's worth seeing it through.
Okay.
Like it's not a super long game.
No, it's not.
It's on Game Pass, so like if you have that, it's not like it's costing you any money outside of the subscription, anyways. So
Yeah. Well, you had said that you are PC, Xbox, and Switch. I'm curious on this here. Is there a hate towards PlayStation? Was it never a thing, or what's the whole Xbox?
No, it's actually my Xbox. I can't even call myself a fanboy. I'm just kind of sucked in the ecosystem now, so I'm just riding it out.
Yeah.
It kind of started from the original one, for the most part, being a spin-off like of a PC at the time.
Okay.
Just in terms of like the architecture having a hard drive some stuff like that where it was like, oh, like I can take the PC games I'm playing and this system will probably run some of them.
Yeah.
Uh, just little things like that at the time. Growing up, I was a Nintendo and a Genesis kid. I had an NES, then I had a Genesis, then I had a 64, and then my mom sold my 64. That's another story.
Oh,
And
you're
then, yeah, I
jealous.
think my next console was an Xbox after that.
So why did she sell it?
Oh God. I was grounded, and she unplugged it and put it in a paper bag in a closet somewhere. And I had a friend spend the night. I was probably in like seventh grade or something at the time.
Hmm.
Um, I had a friend spend the night, and my mom was out of town, and I took it out of the closet, played it. We just, played GoldenEye,
Of
put
course.
it back in the closet. Somehow she found out about it. And one day I came home from school, and she was like, "Yeah, I sold your 64 and all the controllers and all the games and everything."
Who'd she sell it to?
I want to say she just like walked into Funko Land at the time,
Hmm.
now GameStop, and just got cash for it.
Probably got
And it was
underpaid
like
for it.
$300, and she said she'd like give it to me when I graduate high school or something like that.
Oh, oh, that makes sense. Have you ever played on a PlayStation, or have you ever tried to get a PlayStation? Or is
I
there a want?
owned a PS3 maybe 8 years ago. I can't even remember when it came out. I bought a used one right around the time The Last of Us came out
Okay.
because I really wanted to play that game.
Yeah.
Um, so I played through that. I played through. Oh, I had a PSP too. Now that I think about it, yeah, and I, hacked that thing to bits and was playing PlayStation One games on that.
Oh, go
Um,
figure. Go figure.
yeah, I bought a PS3, played The Last of Us, played through Uncharted 1 and 2, and through some of Metal Gear Solid 4, and then I sold it to buy a Xbox One, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I had a PlayStation 4 for a little while because of The Last of Us.
Right.
I had played it before. I had played it before. I loved it. Played through it again, and then Spider-Man came out, and I played the shit out of Spider-Man. But I just none of my friends were on PlayStation. Everybody was always on Xbox.
Right.
And then when Xbox and PC basically were like, we're gonna be a thing and merge and da 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 da, I was like, dope.
Yeah.
So then I got a PC, which and I've never turned back because I don't really need anything else. I can run a lot of the games that my friends play, and thank God for crossplay is a huge thing now because I can just crossplay on everything. So,
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Another big part of the Xbox thing now, it's all coming back.
yeah,
Was I was following the development of Halo
ooh,
back when it was a PC well, Mac game actually.
nice.
Uh, I think they debuted it at like a Mac keynote way back in the day. Like Steve Jobs announced it on stage.
That's hilarious.
Um, and it was going to be like a third-person tactics game or something like that at the time. And I had played Oni, which is one of Bungie's like really old games, and it was rocky, but the art style was cool, and I had fun.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, they made this game. Maybe I like this other one. And when Microsoft bought Bungie, I was just like, all right, well, I'm getting an Xbox. Like
yeah.
that pretty much sold it right there.
My so you followed the Halo franchise basically from start to finish.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the new Halo that's dropping?
I'm concerned.
What? Because I mean,
That's
I feel your concern because I'm literally the same way about Battlefield 2042. That is my
also
pride and joy.
concerned.
What concerns you about the Halo series? Like what
Um,
tickles you?
I guess like the way they debuted it last year,
Mm-hmm.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
I can't remember. Everything blurs together now.
Yeah. When they debuted gameplay the first time, and the internet blew up over it and was like, "Oh, this looks terrible" and whatnot. Uh, the fact that they went into that press conference with the tone of it's coming out like this holiday season, and then after they got that reaction, they delayed it an entire year. Like that was super concerning to me. And now on top of that, they're like, yeah, campaign co-op and Forge aren't going to be in at launch.
Ooh.
I'm like, that campaign co-op is one of the biggest selling points for all the Halo games for me outside of general multiplayer. Like I don't usually run through the campaign solo. It's
Okay.
always with at least one friend. So not having that at launch was kind of weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I heard that they cut those two things for the launch window, but they are coming later, it kind of got me thinking like what state was the game in when they were planning to release it like 6 months after that first video debuted.
Yeah.
And even though they have like given pretty good community feedback and like updates since then, I'm still I'm nervous because I don't feel like Halo 5 went in a direction I enjoyed. I kind of feel like the last good Halo game was Halo 3.
And is it? Are you more of a Are you more story driven when it comes to the Halo campaign series? Like how a lot of games are shying away from campaigns specifically, in and they're really trying to force this multiplayer. Is that a direction in games that you're not enjoying?
Um, no, actually, I mean multiplayer's where it's at with
Yeah.
shooters in general. I mean, I have way too much time in Warzone spent right now. I looked back before Bungie pulled the servers. I think I had like 800 hours in Halo 2 multiplayer alone, something like that. Yeah, I guess campaign's just part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like it for me, when I buy a shooter, if it has a campaign, I play through the campaign, then I hop online. Like there's an order of operations that just get my feet wet a little bit. And
You said order of operations. I have to ask, are you a veteran?
no,
Oh, okay. All right.
no.
I do not hear that at all. Like if I hear specific phrases or specific tones, I'm like, this motherfucker might be, like he might be a veteran with me that might strike some chords, but it just, like, cause I play Insurgency Sandstorm, I play Ground
Oh,
Branch, and I hear the way some of those people talk, and I'm like, I was like, shut up, Marine. He's like, shut up, Air Force. And it's like, no, that's fair. That's fair. So like, I get it.
yeah.
I just had to ask. Did you enjoy the campaign in Malta? God damn it! It's like it's weird. I apologize because like what happens every once in a while is sometimes I'll get really tired right before I'm supposed to do something, and that was an energy drink I was just slamming there, and like I kind of start to wake up midway through, but I still can't talk because my brain is still trying to function correctly. So I apologize.
Oh,
Uh,
no worries.
with the Call of Duty 2019, the one that just came out, did you enjoy that campaign? Was that campaign fun to you?
We're talking Modern Warfare, or are we
Yeah,
talking
Modern
Cold?
Warfare.
Is it
Like
Cold
when
War?
Warzone was launched.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, like the spectacle of it
Mm-hmm.
is always like the production value of a Call
Yeah.
of Duty campaign is always like astounding what they can do with a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought some of it was like kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
Uh, the part where you're the kid, just
No.
like this
Yeah.
is. I don't know if I need this in a game. Like I'm not. I don't really feel like that added anything for me. Um,
Like it didn't add to the. Some of the games try to get you in depth with the story. Like sometimes they try to get you with the storyline, and being the kid, you felt a little disconnect instead of a connect to the character.
it was more along the lines of like I didn't feel like I actually needed to do that versus that being like a cutscene that led into something else.
Okay.
And I get what they were going for. It's just like, oh, like you're in a war-torn land and you're a kid fighting for survival. Like I get that, but I was like, I don't need to be a kid killing people in a
Yeah.
video. Like I can do that as an adult. That's fine for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have
I
a lot of problems with Bethesda too, where like during Assassin's Creed, just like that could have been a cutscene, you know.
oh yeah,
There's I get what you're talking about, where there's specific parts of a game where you're just like, I didn't need to do that. I could have just watched.
yeah, definitely. And that's kind of how I felt about like No Russians. The big one when it comes to Call of Duty. I was just like, I get exactly what you're going for. But at the same time, I'm like, I didn't need to do that. I appreciated the fact that I could just walk through that entire thing without firing a shot. Like, thanks for at least letting me do that.
Yeah.
But also like if you go through the beginning and it's like there's a content warning and I'm like what early 20s or something whenever that came out, it's just like whatever, I'm prepared for anything. Just went straight into it and I was like, this is some hardcore messed up stuff that I'm not sure I should have signed up for. Like it's it's that weird separation between a content warning and the actual content. And sometimes I'm like, I want to see the entire created vision, like someone or some team plotted that entire thing out. And I want to see it in its entirety, even if it upsets me. But sometimes I'm just like, oh, the hindsight on some of that. I'm like, that it would have been fine being a cutscene rather than something I had to interact with. Because the interaction kind of makes it different, but at the same time, I get what they're trying to do.
But I mean, look at what the interaction made you come out of it with. I mean,
exactly.
I think that was the whole point. I think that was the whole point where they're like, no, we're going to make an impression. We're going to do something. Was it bad that when I came into the scene No Russian that I got giddy to pull the trigger? Like I couldn't pull it fast enough. Oh yeah, like as it was starting there, going up the elevators, like remember No Russian, pulls out the 240, and then the elevator door opens up. I was like no, and then like I pulled the trigger, and it's like not yet, not yet.
This
and
works.
I'm like sitting there like pulling the trigger. I'm like come on, let's go. And then as soon as it let me,
like,
just frat.
But it's like, I guess looking back on it, it's more of just like that was actually pretty messed up. But also, as someone who's like, for instance, a fan of the Hitman games, it's like, dude, if you give me a room full of people, like there will be a body count. I can't get around that. At some point, I'm gonna do it first time like stealthy without doing anything, and then the second time I'm just gonna go in guns blazing.
Yeah, how many people on this level? 50? I can get 50 bodies. I can get it.
Exactly. How low can I get the frame rate with a pile of bodies?
It's weird how some games were totally okay with just pure absolute sheer violence, yet some other video games were just like, did that really need to happen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's great. It's great. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. I gotta ask though, with the Switch, are you a big New Horizons fan? Animal Crossing?
I've never played an Animal Crossing.
Fair enough. I got a Switch. I play Pokemon.
Right. It's a solid RPG if that's what you're into. It is a good what it is.
Yeah. I like it's weird because like I'm 34 and I'm like go Pikachu, like you got this, big guy. I love it.
It's totally fine.
I'm glad though that you didn't put Pokemon because you would be. I can't believe how many people's childhoods revolved around Pokemon. It was fucking insane, absolutely insane.
I watched the cartoon show when I was little. I had some cards. I don't know what happened to them, but I did have. I never bought any, but I somehow wound up with some. I probably played 5 or 6 of the games over the 20 odd years that franchise has been relevant.
Yeah. I couldn't make it past Gen 2. As soon as Gen 2 came out, I got a little pissed off. I'm straight OG with that stuff. I think it was maybe fourth generation where I lost my shit because it's like that's a spork with eyes. Like
Yeah,
you're not
that's a
even
set
trying.
of keys.
Yeah, you're not even trying.
That one's a chandelier.
Yeah,
Although there's a pile of garbage named Trubbish, and that's pretty legit just because it's just a pile of trash. Like I respect the trash heap.
Trubbish. I, okay.
It's just like someone just ran out of ideas and they're just like pile of garbage. All right, sign me up.
All right, I'm looking at the Trubbish evolution. So it's a trash bag with arms.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Like no one should be rewarded for creating that, but I still love it just for how cheesy it is.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I've heard of Path of Exile real quick here because I know that usually when someone puts a game first, when I ask like what are the top video games you're playing, usually that first game is a game that they enjoy a whole lot.
Oh man. Yeah, that's probably an understatement.
All right, so I'm looking at some of the pictures here. It looks like it's a Doom, not Doom, Diablo-esque style game.
Yeah.
Okay, so what?
Yeah, isometric action RPG.
Give it to me. Like, why do you like it? What was so big about it? How'd you get into it? Just give me a story.
Um, I got into it by kind of just being disappointed in Diablo 3 when it came out.
Okay.
I can't even say disappointed. I put like 450 hours into Diablo 3 before I stopped playing it.
Wow.
Uh, and it got to the point where there was one point where I just wasn't having fun anymore with Diablo. There didn't seem to be a lot of build variety, a lot of player choice. Like it felt very distilled down to click on things until they die and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas Path of Exile, I mean, just look up the Path of Exile skill tree.
Okay. Un momento.
It's absurd.
Path of Exile skill tree. Oh, look at that! It pops right up. Oh my fucking goodness!
Yeah.
It for those of you who are listening to the podcast, I'm obviously going to put this up here, but essentially it looks like a New York subway station mixed with a couple other New York subway stations.
It's a giant spider web, and last I checked, there was well over 1,600 points on that skill tree.
How do you even fucking choose?
Each class starts somewhere around the center in like a pretty big ring. And total, like maxed out, you'll only have like 120 skill points.
Okay.
So there's a huge variety in the type of build you can do. And once you get familiar enough with the game, you can start to get really creative with what you're going for. And even though most of the time it won't work and the game will slap you around with how bad some of your ideas are, like it's not an easy game. I have, God, this is a bad number. I have 2,844 hours played.
Why is that so bad?
Because I'm approaching 3,000 hours.
Well, I mean, that's 47 and a half days, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's, in probably the last 4 years or so.
No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. You said 2,884 hours into 24 hours. That's 120 days. My bad.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no.
So.
Well, like I think I was at like 45 days with one of my games before, but now imagine me doing that across like 4 or 5 games. Like I can't hyper focus on one. You know what I mean? Like I'll sit there with Fallout and hit like 20 hours in 2 days, right? And then it's like, all right, I got to jump onto something else, and then I put another 20 hours into 2 days on that game. So I mean, I don't have numbers that like you, you know,
Right.
I don't have those expert numbers, but yeah, that's awesome though. That means you like it though.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it, and part of me hates it at the same time. I bang my head against the wall sometimes with that game. It's difficult to the point where like level 100 is the max level in the game.
Mm.
The farthest I've ever gotten is 96.
Why is that? Why can't you break 96?
Um, well, for two reasons. Number one, there are two modes in the game. One is standard, which is continuous, like the timeline never ends.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the leagues slash seasons, if you will. Four times a year, they have a content expansion, like once every 3 months.
Mm.
And all progress is reset for that.
Ooh. Okay.
So in that 3 month period, the highest I've ever gotten is 96.
So
And once those are over, all of your characters get rolled into standard. And usually that's just where they go to die. In my life, like I don't touch standard much. I actually like the reset and progress. Like I have something to chase every single time, and I also have the ability to just start off with a clean slate. The economy in the game is bonkers. Um, that's a whole nother thing.
so you would like Rusk and Tarkov and stuff like that, where they do wipes every so often.
I actually haven't played either one. I've been interested in Tarkov actually, but it depends on the game because some games I'm just in it to try to do every single thing I can, and
Mm.
like I don't need a wipe. Like Skyrim, for
Yeah.
instance, I did everything on in that game when I had it on 360.
Mm.
Same with Oblivion. Um, but sometimes with a game like this, for the most part, the content isn't a drastic change. It's just like one more thing added on to the end. So every single league, I'd say about 90% of the content you're doing is the exact same. So you have to make it interesting by trying something new.
Which is exactly why I'm trying to play as a Jedi right now in
Yeah,
Fallout
exactly.
4.
Which is how you end up with a lightsaber going
Yeah.
around shanking people.
It's funny because I put out part one on my YouTube channel
Okay.
already, because I was just like I was gonna do a whole thing where there's a guy by the name of Paul. He's got a YouTube channel called Mitten Squad, where basically he's from Michigan and he runs around trying to beat Fallout 4 and 3 and like New Vegas and a bunch of other games in different ways, right?
Right.
And he's kind of what brought me onto it. And it was I was gonna put out a whole video like he does, but it was like I'm probably not gonna get back into this for a little while. And I realized about 6 hours in that I had already fucked up, which was pretty awesome.
What were you
I
trying to do?
So with the lightsaber build, the skill that you need is science. Science is an intelligence. Well, I was going to be because
Yeah.
I got the idea to be a big brute charismatic character. Like my charisma is 10, my strength is 10, and then I think my luck was 4, so I could get the idiot savant perk and just level up real fast doing dumb stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I realized that I needed to steal a lightsaber from a guy. Like I couldn't build one because I was like level 1, and I'm not gonna find it in Diamond City right away. So I
Right.
ran out to go grab it from Virgil in the Glowing Sea. So I stole it from him, made it out of there, and then I was looking, and I think I was like level 6 or 7, and I finally ranked up, and I was like, oh, I should probably check before I add these 3 skill points into what I need to do. And it's like, oh, you need science for this. And I'm not even close to unlocking science yet at all. Like I need another 10 levels to unlock science. It's like, well,
Yep.
I was like, all right, so I can either A, ethically cheat here, or B, totally restart. So I ethically cheated. You know.
I like that term.
Well,
Ethically cheat.
when I say ethically cheat, what I did was I erased everything I had. I basically restarted my character, redistributed all my points up into the point where I was at.
Yeah.
So it was like I had restarted the game, but didn't technically restart, but I didn't give myself any advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Oh, but
Saving time while not gaining progress or anything. Yeah.
it was so disappointing. I just
Oh, I
like
believe.
I deleted the video, but you could just see the look on my face just putting 2 and 2 together, and it was like, motherfucker.
Oh, definitely,
Six,
definitely.
6 hours in, and I just can't. Man, damn it. Well,
I remember back in, I want to say like 2015 2015, when Path of Exile was in like open beta,
Yeah.
you could level up skill gems higher than your stats,
Okay.
so you couldn't use them.
Interesting.
So you'd have a main skill, and if you just hit level up on it, it would become completely unusable until you level up again.
All right.
And I broke like my first build doing that. I was just like, wait, like this is what this game is? Like I have to think about things this much? Like they completely changed that now, and they have a whole system for like de-leveling skills and stuff like that. But
That's good.
yeah, it was yeah, I definitely know the feeling of just completely respecking something in the middle of
Yeah.
a game rather than starting over.
So the final game question I do want to ask here because I know we went on a little tangent there. Why are you
Yeah.
worried about Battlefield 2042? Like, what about 2042 worries you?
Um, I mean, part of it again is the lack of campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna say it's a big thing because that's not why I played Battlefield games.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the same time, I know some people do. I know there's the general like value proposition of campaign and multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that's part of it. Another part of it is it's coming out during a time where I mean, it's gonna be Call of Duty and Halo, you
Yeah.
know, like at the same time. And also Warzone and Halo multiplayer are gonna be free to play, while this is gonna be behind a $60 paywall. Um,
I thought Hard Zone was not.
oh, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I was almost. But Hard Zone is their. Hard Zone sounds like their take on Tarkov.
right.
Um,
Okay,
but yeah, no, from because I've been keeping up hardcore on it. The building of it's either Hard Zone or Portal is gonna be free. One of the
okay.
two is yeah, one of the two is gonna be free.
Portal looks nuts.
Portal does look nuts. When I played Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, this was around the time when what was that other one called? What was that old school? The it was another first person shooter that was very very big. Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor, yeah,
Yeah. This was when Medal of Honor came out with like their tier 1 operators and they had a really good storyline. Like I remember that
right.
story. And it was actually I had like just came back from Iraq or something like that and I think that's about the
Oh,
time
wow.
it came out. And it was interesting cuz one of the missions kind of hit a little close to home where I could feel it cuz I was living with a buddy of mine so I threw in my headphones not to bother him and his kid and his wife, but like I cranked the volume up and they were getting mortared as they were running around along a ridge line, which I didn't do any of that crazy shit. But I didn't like I sat on the
All
base
right.
like I sat on the base being a cop. I didn't do anything special. I really didn't. But like getting mortared and then kind of putting yourself into the position of getting mortared on a hillside when you're running after you just got helo dropped in can kind of put you can kind of put yourself in the place, and that's what I liked about the Battlefield series is that you could
Sure.
dive into that space. And I am a little worried as you are as you're talking about it. The storyline was the mainstay of why people played Battlefield, but then again, the Renazook is the reason why a lot of people played Battlefield to begin with. The huge multiplayer. So
Yeah.
I'm worried about Hard Zone because they're saying it's not battle royale. It doesn't look like a battle royale. But you take a look at what Tarkov is, and Tarkov isn't a battle royale. It's not. But people turn
Right.
it into a battle royale.
Yeah.
You see somebody, you just immediately shoot, and it's like it's not AI. Like you can tell the difference between the AI characters and the non-AI characters, but you still want to kill the other guy, and it's just like
Right.
I like PvP, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to team up with a buddy and go against some dumbass AIs and slaughter them. You
Right.
know,
And that's why I'm bummed about the Halo campaign co-op.
yeah.
It's just like sometimes that's all I want to do.
Yeah. The war. Have you played the special operations on Warzone, like the Warzone Spec Ops and stuff like that?
I have not actually. All I played through the campaign once.
Mm-hmm.
I actually hated Modern Warfare's multiplayer.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. And I don't know, Warzone still kind of bugs me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I in a friends group chat I have, I I'm the one who considers it more like talking on the phone with friends.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know, it's,
yeah.
we get a few of us together and play. It's fun, but sometimes I just cannot stand that game.
Oh, I feel you.
Uh,
I'm the opposite. I like multiplayer more than I like the Warzone. I think it's also because I'm not a fan of having to dump half a mag into somebody, and
right.
then, I don't want to have to put 15, 20 shots into you. I'm more of a hardcore person where if I hit you in the face, you're done,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm kind of the opposite. Growing up on Doom and Halo, it's like I appreciate the good, like, give me 2 seconds of shooting at someone, then let me come and punch you in the face.
Well, dude, I grew up Borderlands. I've played through the whole Borderlands series, so
Right.
I know all about sponges. So,
Yeah. But I appreciate being able to react when I'm getting shot at, and that even right now, I feel like the time to kill in Warzone is just a hair too low
hmm.
for my taste. Like they've been slowly extending it out this year, um, except for the few times that there are broken guns that were just, yeah, that was the time I had to walk away from the game. Like when it's a quarter second time to kill someone, like you
Yeah.
can't even react in that. Like I'm not young anymore.
I know. I play. You play with some of these dumb kids, and you're just like, with my ex girlfriend. I talked about this in some earlier podcasts. I had never won a fort. I had never run a battle royale. Period. I
Right.
went to go visit my ex girlfriend down to where she lived. I brought my PC, uh, and her daughter was like, "Hey, why don't you download Fortnite? We'll play tonight when I get back." I was like, "All right." Downloaded it. First 3 games, 3 battle royale wins. She was she hadn't even hit 16 yet, and I was just like,
Huh.
"This is fucking dope." I was like, "This is amazing." I was like, "Let's
Yeah,
do that
feels
again."
good.
She's like, "I'm bored. Let's do this other thing." And then I played against her and her little buddies. Oh, I got my ass kicked.
Just got wiped.
Oh, just smoked. Like I'm coming out of a tunnel. I'm like, "Hey guys," and I get sniped in the face. And it's like, all right, that was kind of fun. So,
Yeah.
all
The
right, how
other
do you?
thing that makes
What's
me
up? Sorry.
slightly nervous about Battlefield is that they said that instead of waiting for lobbies to be filled, they're going to populate it with bots in
Yep.
some of the bigger player count games.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem though.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I mean,
I don't foresee it.
at least for a little bit. I guess my main concern isn't whether the game is going to be good or not. I think it looks like it's going to be a decent game.
Oh yeah.
I what was the last one I played? I played Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. Um, and one with the number, not the original one.
No. Yeah, I don't think many people remember the OG Battlefield that are
Yeah,
listening to this
I
podcast.
barely did. Um, and I feel like the problem with that is like, does the game have legs? Like, will it be popular 6 months from now?
I have a feeling it's going to be popular. I have a feeling that the bots are not going to be a problem, especially
I
within
hope
the next.
so.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem, just simply because people with Portal are gonna. I think Portal's is going to be way more popular than they anticipate because if the bot thing is happening, where we can totally tell we're playing against bots and not people, not because if we can't tell they're bots, then they're doing their job. But if we can
Yeah,
kind of tell we're playing against bots, I think Portal is going to become even more popular because they're going to set up those lobbies where it's like there are no bots in our lobbies, and a lot of people are going to run those Portal servers, and those Portal servers are going to be more popular, and it
right,
might be something to where they go, okay, this is now an offline part of the game instead of this is
right.
more an online part. So I think it has promise. I don't have as much faith as I used to in Battlefield because of Battlefield 1 and 5. I'm not a fan of World War II stuff. I'm not a fan of the way they did that.
I
But
thought one was all right.
yeah,
I mean, one had a pretty good shotgun.
yeah, 1 was good. I will give 1, it had a great thing, but when I go back in time, like I'm used to red dots. You give me an iron sight, I can't hit shit.
Oh no, I'm not looking forward to the new Call of Duty at all.
Yeah,
Like I just and they're putting red dots in all over World War II now, which is
yeah.
like Okay.
I mean, there like the fun part was it was experimental. It was very experimental.
Yeah.
Back in the game where maybe one or two guys had a red dot, or one or two guys had a scope. But now it's like every gun. No, like if you're gonna do World War II, like I feel like you should do it hardcore. But if you go hardcore, not a lot of people are gonna stick around for it. They're gonna realize it's very hardcore, and you're gonna hit very niche, and you can't be niche in a game unless as a big double A or a big triple A title. You
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing with Battlefield 1 for a bit, where it's just like, all right, like you can have all these bolt action guns, and like that's fine. And then it's like, but where are the full autos at?
Yeah,
Like,
where's the Thompsons? Where's the
yeah,
the MP40s? You just a lot of people are you're gonna have an audience for it, but
yeah.
that audience is not big enough for what you're looking for.
Where's my giant drum so that I can just run around hip firing in a room full of people? But yeah, I don't know. I'm weird about the new Call Vanguard for the new Call of
Vanguard,
Duty.
I I'm
I
not
don't
paying attention to it. I
yeah,
I heard
I'm
Vanguard.
not
I saw
convinced.
Soviet Russian. I was just like, I'm done. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like like how'd Call of Duty World War II end up? Like in the grand scheme of things, it's probably one of the more forgettable ones at this point.
The
Like
campaign was fun as shit though.
it was good.
Yeah.
Like again, high production values, like amazingly well done campaign. But the multiplayer is just like I don't think they can recreate the success they had with World at War.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of like a once maybe every 10 years you can do
DLC
something
pack.
like that. Yeah, exactly. But
DLC.
it's like that's come and gone. You have people that look back at it with, a nice little nostalgia trip. But
I
outside of that, I'm like, shooters have evolved in general.
oh yeah.
And I don't even, I mean, Warzone has bolt action rifles.
Oh yeah.
Like most shooters still do. And it's like there's a place for them, but it doesn't have to be back in time. Like we can still have both.
Yeah.
It's like if it's about the guns, just throw the guns in. Like give it modern times. Like let me see a building, let me see a house.
Yeah, you make a great point. Like the Thompson submachine guns are still around. The Car 98, I had a Mosin Nagant like 10 years ago, and I loved the thing. It was great. It bruised my shoulder every time I shot it, but they're still around. They're still well made. Like they're even used by modern day militaries because they're that good.
Right.
Hell, all your snipers are bolt action sniper rifles.
Yeah.
That just speaks to how well that platform is. You can still have that shit in today's day and age. Just
Yeah, exactly.
don't dedicate a whole series to it. Please don't.
Yeah. And like I feel like unless you're coming out with like a genuinely compelling like personal story
Mm-hmm.
set in World War II, like some even if it's completely made up, just like an interesting story that's not the typical like here's Normandy, here's
Yeah.
people blowing up
Yeah.
tanks with stickies. Like
You can only tell the same story
yeah.
enough times until you have to come up with something brand new.
Yeah, like World War II games need to stop trying to be Saving Private Ryan.
That's a really damn good analogy. That is a really good analogy.
Because we got we got Saving Private Ryan, then we got the One Medal of Honor game,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got a few other games scattered around. It's like there was a period of time where all shooters were World War II. Like we've already gone through that phase. Like let's it's okay to leave that behind.
Yeah, and I think Call of Duty actually when Call of Duty World War II came out, and it was a big smash hit. But then every Call of Duty game is a big smash hit because everyone
Yeah,
wants to play the
exactly.
brand new one. Everybody started reaching out and said we need to do World War II, and for the next what was it 3-4 years everything was World War II.
Yeah. And it's like even a bad performing Call of Duty game is still like 12 million copies.
Yeah, And I mean, look at the massive hype around the new Halo, the massive hype around Battlefield 2042. Everyone is so excited to go back to modern day, modern day guns and shit like that. That
Yeah,
it's like, and then now Call of Duty's like, let's go back, and it's like, you just no. Do you not see the way the game's
yeah,
going? Like, come on,
yeah.
man.
It's like they went too far into the future, and the quote reaction was boots on the ground from everyone.
Yeah,
And now we don't have jetpacks anymore.
gotta
Thankfully,
get into
that
the
was
trap.
too fast for my crusty old self. I don't. I was raised on the original Doom in DOS. Like you couldn't look up, man. I'm not looking up in half the shooters I play.
I I remember when I think it was Black Ops 1 was an interesting story. Like I gave Black Ops 1 a chance, and I think I tried Black Ops 2 and was like, this is dumb. I was like, nope, I'm not this
Yeah.
future nonsense. And then all of a sudden Black Ops 4, and I'm like, Jesus. Like how do they, like, why? Like what's the
I don't even remember what Black Ops was the last one I played. I totally forgot there were four of them. I
Zombies was
played
a
one. Was Kevin Spacey in one?
I think that was 3 where they had a lot of the high profile people as the
Okay.
zombies.
And then they had.
Oh no, Kevin
Oh no,
Spacey was the
Kevin
president.
Spacey's in a future one.
Yeah, he was the president, and I think it was 3.
Was that okay? And then there was one with the guy from Law and Order. Was that four?
I don't. I You may be right.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
All I remember is I played through the campaign of 3 because I was like, I'll give this a tiny little shot because I saw the trailer with Kevin Spacey as the president. I was like, that looks kind of cool. So I
Yeah.
rented it, tried it, and I was just like, no, this is like so advanced in the future. Like they're just reaching.
The second where when you're throwing paper airplanes and they seek people out and blow them up in multiplayer, I'm like, yeah, like I'm done. It's too easy to get kills at that point.
Yeah,
Like, give me a little something to work for.
yeah. The one thing that I wish Call of Duty would do is back off on some of the crazy fucking skins that they have.
I kind of love them.
I running around
I
seeing what's his nuts.
It's Bruce Willis,
Well, not okay. Bruce Willis and Rambo are totally
Rambo.
different. No, I'm talking about that stupid fucking clown. That
Oh, the clown from Saw.
Yeah, the Saw clown. I
Yeah.
remember I saw it. Like I saw him on the map. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Just,
like I don't know. I get why you wouldn't like it, but at
Yeah.
the same time, like if I'm playing Warzone and I can be an anime cat lady, like it's dumb enough for me to love it.
Like I mean, that's almost like playing a hard mode because you got somebody like the Rose skin or like some of the other people that you play as, and like you're looking across the map. Who are you gonna spot first? You're
Yeah.
gonna spot the cat lady. You're gonna be
They
like,
had the lady with like the cat print pants.
I hate
That
it.
was it was so dumb, but I had to have it.
I remember trying to work towards unlocking it, and I was like, why is she just in spandex workout gear? Like everybody else has got
Yep.
this cool bomb ass setup, and she's just like in workout gear, and it's like, I know where you're going with this, Infinite. Like I know where you're going with this, guys, but like you don't need to have a hypersexualized character. You don't. You don't.
Embrace the stupid though.
I'm gonna embrace this. Well, dude,
It's okay.
the Russian dude in his sweatpants and the bandolier.
Yep.
I was
Great.
like, all right, fair
Have
enough.
someone in a scuba outfit. You can't even swim in the game. It's perfect.
I know.
It doesn't make sense, but just put it in there.
Yeah, you're jumping
It's-
out of an airplane with rebreather equipment. That total sense.
But I mean, it's kind of that way in all like live service games.
I
Like
know.
eventually, it all comes down to cartoon characters and anime skins. Like
Yeah.
even in Fortnite, like you can be Will Smith versus Ariana Grande now.
did you
like-
did you hear about their Martin Luther King tribute that they
Oh.
did?
God, yeah, that's a bad idea.
It's just it's so it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not.
Yeah.
I
I
read
mean-
I read the article on it. It's all right.
I like the idea behind it and the tribute and the fact that they like got permission from the estate and whatnot. Like that's fine, and it's one of those things where it's like I get it, but also at the same time, like I don't need to see someone doing the Carlton dance in front of the "I Have a Dream" speech. Like
You saw that too.
it's yeah, yeah. It's just like that's not something we need in this world. Like there, I don't have a solution, but I know that that is a problem.
I
Like it's
I
I don't know. It's
literally
like people taking selfies in graveyards. Like it's just kind of like
I mean, good for you for trying. Good for you for
yeah.
trying, but
It's
I
just there's a taste aspect of it. Where I'm just like that. It's not leaving a good taste in my mouth.
I read the article. I got excited about it. I was like, cool. Like they're gonna deactivate, the taunts. They're gonna deactivate this, deactivate that. Like great. And then literally, I finished recording, uploaded everything, edited, threw it all up. Woke up the next day, right on YouTube. MLK, some dude Rick from Rick and Morty flossing right at the end of the
Yep.
pool, and I
It's
was
like,
just
all right,
like,
what are we doing?
I was like, that's it, game fucking over. Like you had an idea, and it's all right. Nope,
This
I
is
don't.
peak humanity, and this is what all of the years of bad internet have gotten us.
Just gonna
We
have Rick from Rick and Morty flossing as MLK does his talk.
suffered through dial-up and AOL and 500 pings, and now we have this.
I love it so much. You wanna dive into the rest of humanity and answer some dumb people's questions here?
Always.
Good. That was a great transition. So I have a really strange one here, which like this to me, it's very short. It says pedophile and friend, so we're hitting it off right away. My friend is 16 and is dating a 26-year-old male. I'm incredibly worried for them, and I want to report this to somewhere. I know only the guy's first name and where he works. What can I do? That's the
Uh,
question.
yeah, that would be probably what we call grooming a minor, which is absolutely not okay.
No,
It's
I love how they go online to ask this question, and it's not like reach out to your parents, like tell your parents. Well,
yeah, right?
your parents will tell their parents, and and if their parents
Yeah.
know, shame on their parents. But like, go,
Does the friend's parents know?
yeah,
Uh, that's step one. Like reporting might be a good idea, but also like at the very least, know your state's laws. That can be part of it. Um,
you take a metal baseball bat, you go visit them, you scream, "Don't take my purse! That's my purse!" And then all of a sudden, self-defense, and you're good to go.
yeah, but yes, that's exactly how self-defense works. But no, it's yeah, in my personal opinion, like that age gap is you're gonna get a glare from me
Yeah,
every single time. It's probably a sign of some immaturity in the guy.
I,
Uh,
I
at the very least, I've always found like age gaps that big. I'm just like, why can't you get anyone your own age?
a 10-year age gap does not become weird until she's like 25. Like, I I think I was 27 because I know I got out of the military after my 6-year stint, and I think I was like 28, 29, and I was dating like a 20, 21-year-old, and I realized real quick, real fast how weird shit can be.
Oh yeah,
Like my life experiences were far above. Like she would talk about something, and I'm just like, that's solvable real easy, and
yeah,
it's a massive drama thing to her. So I was like, let's shy away. That lasted for about 5, 6 months. So
yeah. But like 10 years when you're a teen, like that might as well be her parent.
yeah, I know. Like that's no
Like
bueno.
another 5 years and they'd be old enough to be her parent. Like that's I don't like it.
But yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
This next one here is actually a pretty solid one. I'm very curious what you have to say. Boyfriend wants my sugar daddy's money. It's actually how she wrote it. So this sounds weird from my Hiretha. Yesterday I was messaged by a guy offering me to be my sugar daddy and pay me $5,000 a month just to talk to him. Nothing sexual. I'm broke and about to be kicked out of my current housing situation, so of course I was like, yeah. However, my boyfriend, who was sitting next to me at the time and okayed every message I sent, then told me that I was only allowed to get into the situation, I'm adding that because she left it out, if I paid him half the money every month. My boyfriend is very well off, lives with his parents who spoil him, who doesn't work and doesn't want to move out. My issue is that I really need the money at the moment, and I feel weird paying for paying my boyfriend to let me do this, and I don't even know if the guy's real. What should I do?
Break up with your boyfriend. Like, I'm sorry. If you need money and someone is offering you $60K a year to talk to them, and if you are two consenting adults and this is absolutely fine with you, you do not owe your boyfriend anything. He's either fine with it or he's not. If it's a deal breaker, you either stop doing it or you break up.
I have a really good solution that involves what you're talking about. You bring up a very awesome point. If he's well off and refuses to move out and he makes substantial money off of his parents, tell him to start paying your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't pay my shit, I'm going to go with him. And if you don't like it, you can fuck right off.
What does he need $2,000 over $2,500 a month for if he lives with his parents? Like,
yeah. If I lived with somebody and didn't have to pay rent, my rent money would go to the bills and everything else that I needed to pay. You know?
Right? I would have a lot less debt.
Yeah. I found that I was like, some of the, it's weird because some of these questions are just like ridiculous.
No, that's quite a reach.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever be in a position like that. Like, I mean, I'm married. I've never been in a position where I'd be like, you owe me this. Like, that's not how relationships work.
Yeah.
No, you are not entitled to someone else's money unless it's deemed by the court in a divorce proceeding. Like, no, two people bring things to the relationship, and the dynamic should be healthy. It should not be necessarily like that quid pro quo.
Yeah. The one and only time I told my girlfriend she owed me money was when she promised to pay for half of a trip that we were going to go on. I was picking her up from New Mexico, from an internship that she had. And, she's like, hey, if you come pick me up, I'll pay for half the trip. And I filled up, I paid for the vast majority of the trip, where I was like, you got the next 2 tanks, right? She's like, oh, that's right. I totally forgot. It's like, that's the only time I've ever asked a girlfriend for money.
It's something you establish going into it.
Yeah.
And that's also a mutual understanding, not necessarily a demand,
Mm-hmm.
Like a demand after the fact has a lot more severity of entitlement, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, it's not really something I run into, but something about that relationship dynamic sounds unhealthy to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's the Giga Chad, that whole situation. But I'm not.
But also, like, at the very least, be proud of your partner, lift your partner up.
Yeah,
they're making money, good on them. Maybe they'll take you out to dinner.
Dude,
but they don't have to, because that's their money and you guys aren't married.
I have the one thing that weirds me out is that she's like, oh, he said nothing sexual right away. Give it a month. Give it a month.
Yeah.
I'd
be interested to see. I want to follow up. I want to know where this goes like 6 months from now.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is a really long one, but they have a TLDR, and I'm going to use the TLDR as an excuse not to read the whole thing. I reported my roommate for identity theft. She's an international student and might get deported. Am I doing the right thing? TLDR. My roommate charged a 2,500 MPB laptop to my credit card without my knowledge and permission. She refuses to pay me back. I filed the police report and sent to my credit card company. But this puts her student visa at risk. Am I doing anything wrong? What is 250 MBP?
2,500.
Oh, it's a MacBook Pro. I thought that was a form of currency, not an actual laptop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. $2,500 MacBook Pro. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's not okay.
No. Yeah, okay, so yeah, $2,500 fucking laptop to your credit card.
Yeah, no, that's at the very least credit card fraud.
Yep.
Like that's not okay. It's probably some higher charge in some states if it's over X amount of dollars. Like,
I think it's a grand in a lot of states. If it's over a
yeah,
thousand dollars, it's technically a Class F felony.
yeah. I think that you are totally fine. Report away. Yeah, we would be having some strong words, and yeah, a chair might get thrown. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I used to work in the student loan industry, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, I loved it. I loved it. It was
Really?
yeah, it was great. I helped out a
What?
lot of people. I got to so
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
the
sorry.
first 3 years sucked. I will come out and say that the first 3 years sucked. But then at the third year, they're like, "Hey, Jared, do you want to be a supervisor?" And I was like, "What do I get to do as a supervisor?" They're like, "All that shit you've been wanting to do, you get to do it." I was like, "Great." And that's when I legitimately like started helping people out, like for real. Like that's
Okay,
where I,
okay,
you
okay.
know,
I can respect you weren't just like collections.
yeah, it wasn't just pay, well, the first 3 years wasn't just pay us our shit. We help people out, but there's only so much that you can do. But then when you're a supervisor, you can really take it that next step. And like I would have conversations that I just couldn't have as a regular person because I wasn't deemed qualified enough. But like, I mean, there were people that I absolutely helped get their debt cleared. I helped clear up a whole bunch of stuff. I legitimately got in depth and helped people. But one of the worst parts of it was when parents would come to me about a Parent Plus loan that their kid had taken out in their name, and the only way to get that Parent Plus removed is if you report your child for fraud. And you would not believe the amount of times
Damn.
I would have this conversation. Well, ma'am, you have to report your son for fraud, otherwise it's a legal loan. I ain't paying you
Yeah.
shit.
Jeez, I didn't even think of that. That's oh,
And the amount of parents that say I am not doing that, and I go, ma'am, then we are going to have to come after you with all the might of the U.S. Department of Education. Well,
yeah.
no, my son did this, and it's like you have to choose either report them or take care of business.
Yeah, I'd be having a very stern talking with the child. That would probably mess the relationship up for a little bit of time.
It it was
That's
never pretty, but yeah, like
Yeah, that's one of those things that it's there's lines you don't cross, and I feel like messing with other people's credit is, at least in this country, one of those things that can like absolutely ruin someone for at the very least 10 years, if not forever, especially with student loans.
yeah, I finally was able to take out my first loan after like 15 years. I've always had bad credit. I've always paid with cash for everything.
Ah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
never.
I did for a while.
Yeah,
I had a credit card when I was 18. That was a dumb idea.
yeah. I don't. You funny. God, like when should a cell phone be given? We need to have a talk about money, not cell phones. Like that, I can't believe money's not a big thing, in this country. Like, uh,
Yeah.
so many people advocate for like finance classes. We need finance classes more
Oh,
than anything.
absolutely. We need finance classes. We need labor and tax law classes.
Hmm. That shit needs to get taught like immediately. I
Yeah.
can't believe the stupidity of some of the youth today with money is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Like, doing your own taxes should be a course in high school.
I did them for the first time last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. Well, because when I was in the military, I usually didn't have time to do it. Like usually, I was deployed around that time or
That
what have you.
seems reasonable and fair.
Yeah. I
You have
mean,
other things to do.
when you're working a 12-hour shift and you still have to work out like 2 hours a day, you kind of dwindle with your time. And it was nice because I could go to the Liberty Tax down in Rapid City, South Dakota, be like, "Here's my name, here's my information." They're like, "Oh, well, we'll give you a call in like an hour." And I was like, "Just don't, just process it and send it through.
Yeah.
Here's my debit card, charge me." It was great. But yeah, I didn't. One of my friends was like, "Just do it online." I forget what it was, but I qualified for a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is easy."
Oh, yeah.
You just what
Yeah,
does line 12
I
say?
did my taxes on paper for, I mean, I've had a
Jesus.
job since I was 14, 15. Um, so I did them on paper probably until the mid to late 2000s.
Damn, dude, that's
And then after that, I've just been using whatever tax service is the cheapest. Like,
yeah. I
I mean, once it became online, like that was great. You know,
yeah.
having to go through all the brackets and stuff physically, like, was a huge pain.
I
Um,
I loved it. I love the one that the IRS told me about. They're like, "What's box 12?" Box 12 says that. Put that in there. Okay. It
yeah, right.
walks you right there. You can't not mess it up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Back
ridiculous.
in my day, you had to flip a few pages.
I remember the first few times I actually did taxes. I was like, no, I was like that. I'm gonna pay somebody to do this. 100%.
Oh
Gonna
yeah,
make somebody pay to do this.
yeah.
Um,
We bought a house, got married, have a
nice.
kid now, and it's just like we might have to start looking into having someone do our taxes because some of this stuff I'm like, do I check this box?
Nice. All right, so I gotta ask, what's there was a Ask Reddit a couple days ago that says, "What's the most disturbing thing you know?" And I'm curious, what's I mean, some of these are really dark because, like, these are people that like work for shit. But like, what's a disturbing thing that you know? I guess.
I don't know. I can't think of that on the spot.
uh, Ducks are evil. I guess ducks and dolphins are like super
Ah,
evil.
ducks are great. Leave ducks alone.
Well, a lot of duck pregnancies happen because of a very bad thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're I think ducks are cute.
ducks are cute.
Outside of that, I think most birds are gigantic assholes. Speaking of,
Yeah.
how
Oh
are your
yeah.
birds?
Oh, they're great. They're in their hidey hole, taking a. As soon as the sun sets at like 6:37, they crawl in their little hidey hole and go away.
Are they nicer than ducks?
Yeah. Well, they're on par with geese. They're assholes.
Geese, man.
We uh we have a couple spots around town where they like to land, and it's like right in the middle of like everybody's foot traffic, like where people go
Right.
for walks and stuff. It's so bad during the summer, and then when they have their little goslings, oh, heaven for fucking bid. Just parts
Oh
of
yeah.
parts of my town are just off limits because of them. You're just like, all right, nope.
Yeah, there's a lake like 2 blocks away from here, and we'll go on a walk around the lake, and when the geese are there, you just stand your ground, hiss back at them, give them a little stutter step, hope they back off.
I actually took Helios out today for a walk in the woods. I actually took him out today. I finally decided to go for a walk. I try to socialize him because, like, if
Okay.
you were to come over to my apartment, he would attack you. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. He has to get cocky enough because he's
Yeah.
he's 21, so like he's
Damn.
old. He doesn't really like to
Okay.
fly. He's not a strong flyer, but when he
Yeah.
gets the balls to attack you, he goes full force, and it's insane because like you can see the fire in his eyes build, and
Oh
like I
man.
I can kind of watch and go, okay, I know when he's gonna attack, and it's so I
I've
try to.
never been attacked by a bird. I don't know what I would do.
Yep, everyone puts their head down like that.
That sounds about
Yeah,
right.
everyone just kind of
I
does
guess
that.
I've been in a room with a bat before. I bet I would react the same. No, I had a tennis racket when that happened.
You and I were a little different. I grabbed a fishing net and some gloves and caught it and put it outside.
I mean, I didn't hit it with the tennis racket. I just had it in my hands.
But then again, I'm the kind of guy where, like, when I was working for the student loan center, there was a spider that I guess somehow came into the building and was crawling across one of the girls' desks, picked it up and put it outside. That's
Right?
just
They're not bothering
no
anybody outside of just being there.
shit. I've got like 3 or 4 that live in this house. I love them to death. Keep it spider and wasp and or not spider. They keep it wasp and everything else free. I live near kind of a marshy area. It gets a little weird with mosquitoes every so often. But I'll hear one at night. Come wake up the next day. Nope, it's gone. You know, I love it. I love having the spiders in my house. They're great. They're the best non-pet pets that I have.
I'm still trying to think of something disturbing. I know. I don't. Nothing's. What's your answer?
The most disturbing thing that I would have to say is the dolphins. Like, they just fuck with everything. Like
Oh yeah, I heard that.
with pufferfish. Like they rally around a pufferfish. They get all high off of it. They basically form gangs, and then they go out and do gang shit. They gang they what is that
God
called?
sucks.
They oh god, they do gang shit in the ocean. Like it's just they don't have guns. Just groups of adolescent assholes doing adolescent asshole things if laws and shit didn't apply to them. So
Doing hood rat stuff with their friends.
yeah. I don't know. You don't have to come up with anything. Although I was gonna save this for later. I was 100% gonna save this for
Oh
later.
God.
But I wanted to read it because it was very interesting to me, and I want to get somebody. Oh, this is another good one that I think is very simple. This is not the thing I want to talk about. But it says newly polyamorous girlfriend tells me she wants to see other guys. I'm gonna keep it short. I've been dating her for 3 years. Today she texted me that she was talking to a polyamorous male friend of hers, and she discovered that she's polyamorous too. Now she wants to see other guys while still being in a relationship with me. I told her I support her and I will always be there for her, but we can no longer be in a relationship or do anything if if she wanted to be polyamorous. She didn't like the answer, and I believe I did the right thing. Did I do it? Did I do the right thing?
I mean, speaking your truth is generally the right thing. If you're
Mm-hmm.
like, he's not saying don't do it.
Yeah.
He's just saying he can't be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's removing yourself from a situation that you're not happy in. That's exclusivity is a need you need met. By all means, like have that need met elsewhere if it is not in this situation. That's part of how a relationship works.
Yeah. I'm glad he asked our advice section because I went onto the polyamory subreddit for an episode that I wanted to do.
Okay,
Those are some toxic motherfuckers.
I believe it.
Yeah, like if you don't, and it's funny because there's thousands of them on that subreddit. If you don't specifically cater to that one person that's reading your post, you're in the wrong. And it's amazing. I was just like, thank God. Like I wanted to be like, thank God you didn't ask that anywhere else. Like, yeah, no. If somebody wants something that you're not down for, you're 100% free to bounce.
Yeah, exactly. It's like any other suggestion. Or like my new partner just started smoking and I don't like it. It's just like, all right, well then just be like, hey, don't do that around me. And if they can't manage to not do that, then like feel free to leave. Like
Yeah,
it's it's consent between two people. Like it's always that easy. Like if one person doesn't consent to the actions of the other, then you have a problem and it needs to be dealt with.
yeah. So this gentleman wants to ask if he fucked up bad. This is actually a green text that I just literally found.
Oh,
it's
green
not,
text, man.
It's not bad. It's not.
Some
bad.
of them get. Oh,
No,
I'm on
I've,
Reddit too much.
I saved one that's really bad that I think I'm going to talk about by myself. But this one is actually pretty good. So he says, "Guys, I fucked up. I was this close to having a tomboy brown girlfriend, and she just fucking shut me down." And I guess he's Korra from Airbender is kind of the girl he's referring to having. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So because like when he said tomboy brown girlfriend, I was like, bro, like that's a little oddly specific. And then
Yeah.
apparently Korra is kind of the gal that he's looking for. It's like, oh, okay, I get you there. So have a crush on a tomboy brown coworker. Reminds me of the cartoon character Korra, picture related. Spunky attitude, very aggressive but playful if you try to mess with her. Always smiles, always very hyper. We get along great. She's cool as heck, really into boyish stuff like skateboarding, wears Converse for fuck's sake, but she says it's for lifting after work, hiking, exploring spooky houses, a goddamn samurai sword in the back of her car because she's scared of walking home alone. Exactly.
All right. Hey, cool.
Punches my arm, I make jokes, threats, and she always gets up in my face like, go ahead, drop me if you're so strong if I can bet. Friends tell me, dude, she wants it. You can't fuck this up. So I man up despite being a kissless virgin spurg, I don't know what that word is, and ask her out. I had to do it. She says, you're really cool, Anon, but sorry, I don't feel that way about you. I hope we can still be friends. I reply, no thanks, I don't want to be friends. I would just be lying that I didn't have feelings for you and while we messed around at work, so let's cut contact. Later in the day, my coworkers tell me that she wasn't as uppity as she always is. Next couple of days, I see her try to joke around with me as always. I just sort of do a half-ass smile and walk away, leaving her doing something silly which looks out of place to others. She comes up to me during lunch one day. Hey, Anon, mind if I sit here? Bought you your favorite hamburger from the store that we always get burgers from. It's your favorite. I tell her, no thanks, my lunch is over anyways. I was lying. So I get up and walk away. She sits there with her head down holding a hamburger for a while. Girl coworker asked me why she was so sad. Apparently, she got up, and when I left, she had ran into her office and looked like she would have been crying for a little while. How much did I fuck up? I know it was a long one. I apologize.
No, these kind of things are hard, but at the same time, dude made his feelings clear. They were turned down. Like you have to accept it, and generally speaking, like it's still possible to be friends with someone even after rejection. It has happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
And it's something you got to roll with. God, I don't know what to say about, like, outside of that. Like, I get the idea of it feeling like it's too much initially. But at the same time, over time, get in the mindset of you're back to friendship, and it can change. It's not impossible. Like, even if you love someone, you can fall out of love with someone. Like, these things are totally possible, and people do it all the time.
So true.
And there's a difference between being attracted to someone and needing to be with them. Like, it's okay to be attracted to people you're friends with. Like, that's totally fine. But at the same time, like, you need to accept the fact that it's not going to work out.
Yeah. And that can be something that's very tough. I have that problem where a lot of the women that I know, I am very attracted to the women that I know. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, which at the same time, I saw kind of a thread that there were two threads that I saw that kind of talked about it that really kind of hit on the head, where one guy had tried to relate it to sex, but then the other guy just basically shut him down and was like, no, he just wanted to date her. Like, he was in love with her, and you can fall out of love. The friendship zone is only a zone if you want to make it. But, it's very hard to hang out with somebody that you have feelings for, knowing that it's not reciprocated. And you can do it. It can be done. But at the same time, like, you got to wait till that shit falls off. Yeah. And I've been able to put myself in that. I've had myself in that situation a few times where, like, like, hey, you're cute. I'd like to try something. I see you as a friend. All right, well, just don't expect me to hang out with you then for a while I try to get over this. While I try to figure it out, where I try to be okay with the friendship thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the response, more than just being like, I can't talk to you ever again. It's just like, okay, like, I need some time to get my stuff sorted. Like, now, after the rejection, it becomes like an issue with my feelings. Yeah, and exactly. Like, I need to come to terms with what's going on in my head, because you're still the same, but I'm, like, now in a suddenly different spot.
I don't know if he would, because I wonder if his quote was worded from how he actually said it, or if it was maybe from a diluted memory because of it. But yeah, he needs some time, and it's just, I don't think he fucked up. You do you until you're good, but at the same time, like, you got to convey that shit. You really got to convey that stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, it was a coworker, right?
Yeah, it was a coworker.
That's the part that sucks. I mean, yeah, I've dated coworkers. It's the breakups suck.
Shit show. Yeah, shit show.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, even when it does work out. But at the same time, like, if you can get some distance in the workplace, like, by all means, take it and get that word out. Like, just say you need some space. Like, hey, things are a little bit different for me right now. You know, I hope it doesn't change things in the long run, but it will get better as long as you can cope with it.
Yeah. I wish the guy luck. I hope that he can get back to it. But then again, I know how going back to somebody who was a friend, then turned into a love interest, then went back to a friend, how weird that shit can be. So,
Yeah,
I'm excited for him. I hope there's a follow up to it, but I know that a lot of those posts are about anonymous people, which is where the anon comes from. Um,
right.
but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Although I do really want to follow up on a couple of those other ones, but I know for a fact that they won't be around. The Ask Reddit crap is always so weird because there's one that blows up and then you'll never hear about it again, or like
Yeah.
a lot of those accounts are simply just throwaways, just straight
Oh yeah.
throwaways that people
I mean,
use.
some of the updates are good though. You
Yeah,
you get some juicy ones every once in a while.
I do have to ask. Did you see the hot dog and epoxy?
Was that where they just sealed a hot dog in like an epoxy
Yep,
prism?
yep.
Uh, I haven't seen any updates on that,
No,
but I mean,
it.
just generally speaking, like it should just kind of stay how it is for
Yeah,
the most part.
it's always interesting. You can kind of like, I love how he updates us. Because speaking of the updates, I love how he updates us with a very high definition video of
Oh
it.
God, let me see this thing.
It's so gorgeous because like you can kind of tell that there's some small minute changes, but at the same time like it's great because he's like, oh, here's the 6 month update, here's like a week update, and it's nice. I love it. Absolutely love it.
See what this thing looks like. Yeah, that just all right. Yeah, that just looks like a hot dog.
Yeah,
You know?
I love it. Oh, that's not how you spell epoxy.
How'd you spell it?
Appoxy. Don't give me shit, man. Don't give me shit. Come on,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
Dude, a lot of times I just be like, okay, Google, how do you spell this stupid word? So,
Oh no, it's okay.
yeah.
I definitely ask how to spell things.
Ah, last stream crashed, so here's the new stream. Come on. Ah, the video is unavailable. It's private. You suck. 14 days ago. Really, the dude does an epoxy hot dog live stream where he just live streams a hot dog in epoxy? That's fucking.
Sounds about right.
Oh yeah, the last was a 10-month update a little while
Yeah, I
ago.
saw the picture of that one.
You
But
can you
you know,
can kind of
there's
tell.
as long as you use the right epoxy, like it shouldn't really be that bad, at least on the surface.
It looks a little shiny, like it looks like it's sweating a little bit.
Yeah,
Looks like
I
it's
mean,
sweating.
it might have shrunk a tiny bit, and that's like air pockets in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I know these things about epoxy.
Okay, so the
Used it enough, but yeah, if like the surface retracted a tiny bit inside,
save that.
I mean, hell, the epoxy might yellow before the hot dog starts looking bad. So
Well, the ketchup and mustard are looking pretty bad as it is. They're looking pretty flat. Looking
yeah,
pretty flat. I gotta ask though, you pay attention to the do you pay attention to the NFL? I closed out your thing.
not so much
Not so
anymore.
much. All right.
I had a my time has come and gone with the NFL.
Why do you say it's come and gone?
I decided in 1999 that I was going to be a Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
Okay. Why did you do that?
I really liked the original NFL Blitz, and I picked random like 3 games in a row, and it came up the Bucks.
All right.
I was just like, all right, this is my team now. Like, let's go.
E-
So just like I've never. My brother played football. He went to college and played football. Like he was very good.
Yeah.
So it's always just been kind of in my life, but I haven't been. Yeah, I'm from Minnesota, dude.
Yeah.
Like
No, I feel you.
following football's hard in this state.
I
I'm
I was
used to being hurt, damn it. But after the Bucks won the Super Bowl in 2003, I was just like, you know what? I saw this team when no one was really talking about them, and in 4 years they won a Super Bowl. I'll take my win and just be done.
all
And
right.
now I just like I didn't really even root for them in the last Super Bowl. Was that the
Yeah,
last one?
yeah,
Yeah.
the last one.
It's like, that's not the team I grew up loving,
Yeah,
Like I don't know. I don't have any loyalties in the NFL right now.
I feel you. My stepdad put it best. He's like, I no longer care for a lot of professional sports, just simply because they've taken the game out of the game and they've made it more political, and I feel that way too, which is why I stick to the NFL highlights. I just watch the highlight reels. I know I become very very biased in the highlight reels because I see the good and the bad. I don't see
Right.
the in between. But
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
I was hopeful when Cousins went to the Vikings. I was actually really excited. I'm excited to see how Goff does at the Lions. Like, that would be really interesting. I'd love to see Matt Stafford flourish with Los Angeles. Um, I was really hoping Brady would just take a dive in Tampa Bay just to show that he's not that good. But nope, just totally
He's so
dismantled.
ridiculous.
They dismantled the number one powerhouse offense.
Yeah.
The,
Just
the
I
how
Tom
how do,
Brady's he's broken. Like nerf Tom Brady.
well, how do you take it? The Kansas City Chiefs are blowing 30, 40 points a game, easy, easy.
Yeah, and then just shut him down.
You 3 field goals. That's it. Go fuck yourself. Like, how? Like, I don't. Good job.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually like kind of mad about how that Super Bowl went down. It's just
Yeah.
like I expected a show.
Like, even if it's just a gunslinger event where it's just 45 to 35 or whatever. Like, just give me an adventure. I don't need
Yeah,
this shutout
exactly.
crap. Two powerhouse teams and one just can't do
Yeah,
shit.
I did not come to this game that I don't really follow anymore to watch field goals.
Yeah. No.
Stop that.
The only reason why I ask is because Cam Newton got let go today.
Yeah, I actually heard that. That sucks.
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick doesn't put
that
up with
sucks
shit.
for him.
Yeah, it sucks for him. Bill
Yeah.
Belichick doesn't put up with anything, though. I love that
No,
guy.
that man is cutthroat.
Well, I mean, this was like the second time he had messed with the COVID thing, and I guess like he wasn't performing as well as you had thought he did, and so Belichick's like, dude, you're done. Yeah. Hear about
Uh-huh.
Gardner Minshew though?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's that guy that stepped in and had like a couple just great games out of nowhere.
Yeah, he did. Who was that? That was
Has he
like
got the mustache?
mustache and mullet. Yeah,
Yep.
he drives the jacked up F-350.
So
Well, who's
that's a look, man.
yeah? Well, remember when the Packers put in? I think it was Matt Flynn. Was it? Or who was it that had that game where he just shattered all the Packard records, got the deal with Seattle, and then turned out to be a bust?
Oh, God, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember. But yeah, Minshew was doing good, but I don't know what was going on. Apparently, they didn't think he was doing all right, so then they just traded Minshew, and I forget where he went. Like, I literally read it like an hour ago, but yeah, he got traded, and
Who is he playing for?
he was playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars. Okay.
Then,
Yeah. And this was like just this past year, right?
Yeah, he was playing with them. There it
He
is.
just came off the bench and killed it.
Yeah, came off the bench and killed it. Oh, that's right. He's going to the Falcons with Flacco, Jalen Hurts, and now they got Minshew. That's an interesting trio right there.
Let's see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Jeez.
Because
Turns out I still follow football. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of
Casually.
passive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, because the Falcons are, or not the Falcons, the Eagles are all in on Jalen Hurts, but he's subpar, and then Flacco's just a grizzled veteran that kind of was okay even at his best, and now they're bringing in someone who's more of a gunslinger. I don't know. I love where the NFL is going. I know it's not something that you're big into, but I love where the NFL is going just because like you look at all the old school stuff, and now you're just like, who's with what now? Like
Yeah.
when Devin Funches showed up on like they're like, oh, Funches with the 10-yard catches. Like, is that Devin Funches from the Carolina Panthers as number 11 on the Packers? And it was like, yeah, oh, okay, so yeah,
I mean, yeah, like moves are always interesting to refresh every single team. Like I didn't even know Tom Brady was on the Bucks. I was just like, wait, what? Tampa? What?
that
Okay. Now you have my attention.
that surprised everybody.
Yeah, it's just like that. All right, whatever. I mean, Brett Favre ended up on the Vikings. Like nothing surprises me anymore.
I was not surprised that he went to the Vikings, to be completely honest with you. I think he would have gone to the Bears or even the Detroit
I
Lions if he was given an opportunity.
I feel like because it was just one of those things where like growing up, the culture around here was yeah, sure he's got his rings, but he's not that good.
Yeah,
And all of
yeah.
a sudden it's like, no, we got him and he's the best. It's like all right, Minnesota, like you need to quit flip flopping on every single player that you get.
That
But
cross body, cross field, right into I think it was the Saints' hands. Ooh, tip like maybe if he was 10 years younger, that would have worked. But old man Favre,
no,
I felt so bad.
I mean, dude was like 72, like
Yeah, God,
had like half of one thumb left, like just it was fun. It was
yeah,
fun.
it was fun. Well, this is about the time that I'm gonna call it. It's we're getting a little deep here. I've
Oh,
for sure had a lot of
time for
fun with you, so I appreciate it, boss.
no. Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So this is the part where you get to pimp yourself out. Where can people find you? You got a Twitch, you got a YouTube. What do you
Oh,
do?
let's see on YouTube and Twitch. It is Way to Podcast.
Way to
W
podcast.
WAYTO podcast.
What do you
Uh
do there?
there's absolutely no content on it.
Oh,
Actually, we just tried doing a couple sound tests on Twitch Saturday.
really?
Um, yeah, it's me and a buddy. We're just gonna start a kind of general talk podcast. We're both very opinionated people.
Okay.
And it started with a coworker just randomly coming up to me and just going like, "Hey Nate, like, what are your thoughts on?" And then he would just give me a topic, and that's where the WAYTO came from for "What are your thoughts on?" And I was just like, "All right, like I can roll with this." Like every once in a while, I am surprised at what I actually do have an opinion on.
You guys got a little teddy bear, a little Care
Oh
Bear.
yeah,
Is that you
yeah.
guys?
That's the grumpy bear.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I just
So,
popped on
there's not
Twitch.
much yet,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Yeah. I uh I just popped on Twitch, and I'd love that this is. Hold on. Okay, keep it muted. Um, I got to show you this because this is absolutely ridiculous. Um, I'm gonna share my screen here just because
Is this front page of Twitch? What's
this
going on?
was literally on the front page of Twitch.
God damn it, Amaranth, get off of Twitch.
This is the front page of Twitch.
Amaranth, you need to stop.
I I don't
She needs to stop.
I'll get hit for this. I don't give a shit. But like, this is front page of fucking
She
Twitch.
needs to stop. I Hey man, she is hustling the internet and I respect the hell out of that game. But like, dude, what is Twitch anymore?
I feel like I'm watching a porn on a video gaming site, and it confuses me to no end. I don't.
It's just like, what are we doing? She's licking a microphone in the shape of an ear.
She's
That's
like that's like dude like that's some hypersexualized shit right there. Like that. Like
yeah.
I
It's so wild that like, and this is a career. She's probably pulling down good six figures.
oh, are you kidding me? How many fucking people were on that? Get out of there, Google. Like
At least good six figures.
oh, if not seven.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's
I'd like to think I have a conservative estimate on that.
She has 22,437 followers. She has 9,300
2,000?
22,437 followers.
That's less than I thought, actually.
Her goal is 23,000. and she has 9,400 new followers, and her goal is 11,000 or 2,000. 250 bucks gets you 50 subs and a follow back on Instagram or Twitter.
That
600 subs for a hot tub stream on Thursday.
so ridiculous. She makes so much money.
Um,
I'm just, hey man, she's putting in work.
I like this
I
is some hype. Like this is like that's some shit I want to watch when it's my alone time, man. Like that's
I oh
that's some
I
2 a.m. shit right there.
part of me wants to just like gatekeep the hell out of it and be like Twitch is for gaming, but part of me is just like, hey, no service is doing it better right now. Get your money.
It's but it's it's toting that fucking line. It's toting that
Oh,
line, and I just like I 100% give it to her. I'm good for you, sweetheart. Love it.
it's just like the OnlyFans community taking OnlyFans back. It's just like, man, at some point there's gonna be enough pissed off people that you just have to let some stuff slide. Like,
Did you actually read the article that they put out when they first made the announcement, though?
yeah.
Yeah, nobody did. Nobody actually read the announcement. That was the one thing that pissed me off more than anything. It's like OnlyFans banning OnlyFans, and it was like, no, 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 no. They're banning certain subcultures that might be a little too aggressive. But
Yeah.
then everybody, the could you imagine the mass exodus that happened 24 hours after that?
I know people.
Yeah,
I was just like, so you're done, right? I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm already on what just for fans or
yeah,
whatever the other one is. But I'm just like, hey, if
yeah.
they're messing with your livelihood, like get out.
I almost contacted the three people that I knew because I did 3 interviews with 3 girls that did OnlyFans. I went
I
on a
listened to one.
what's up?
I listened to one.
Which
I
one did you
checked out
listen
your
to?
channel. Um, the most recent one.
The French Connection with the French
Yes.
gal.
Yes.
She was very polite. She went a little bit more heavy into the answers that I thought she would, but then again, the French they sell Playboy on corner stores,
Yeah.
so she was very sweet, very nice. I liked her. She was a very cool person. Um, but yeah, I was gonna reach back out to him and be like, "You guys want to come on and talk about this? Because this would be amazing." And then like 2 days later, they're like, "No, no, no, we were kidding. We're kidding. Back to normal." I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
yeah,
They said that they have suspended plans
yeah."
to ban that stuff. So I'm like, hey, it could come back at any day.
I just
The
yeah,
this, I mean, I on one hand, I get the idea that like as a business, you have to go by the rules of your payment processing people.
so
Like,
dumb.
I get that, but at the same time, like we as consumers of content, while we can vote with our wallets, like the payment processing people doing that, like takes our vote completely away
Mm-hmm.
in a way that we have no control over. Where like I feel like part of the way the system works is like we can choose not to give people money, but it kind of breaks down when a different entity is just like, or we can just refuse to take all of it and
Yeah.
shut this down right now.
Kind of makes
Just
me
like,
want to start up a payment processing center. Be like, we'll take your
yeah,
shit. We
right.
don't care.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I will turn a blind eye, but
Yeah.
then you realize that you have to build an entire network that can process billions of transactions an hour. And
Yeah.
yeah, good luck trying to recreate MasterCard.
I could do it, but like I mean, think of the massive like that's got to be a huge payday for a lot of those credit card processing companies. Like
Oh, absolutely.
the people that were like, we'll take a risk on this. Like that's what bothers me about Colorado. For the longest time, banks wouldn't take weed money. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the few banks that would are running in it. They're just drowning in
Yeah.
cash.
I mean, yeah, it's the whole, I guess, in my perspective, it's the whole reason why I just legalize it federally at this
Yeah.
point. Like, every state needs the money. Like, let's not play. Just legalize it and tax it. We already do the same with alcohol. Cigarettes are still legal. Like, just get that tax money.
I
I'd rather have it come from that than pay more at the gas pump or something like that.
Fucking alcohol. I hate alcohol with a passion. I hate it's I can't believe that it's still legal with all the negativity. Like in my personal opinion, it is worse than marijuana at hardcore. And I just like I know people that are on like their sixth or seventh DUIs and they haven't spent more than like a night in jail for something, and I'm like, you I don't get it. It's uh infuriating.
I mean, I get that perspective because on one hand, I fully recognize the fact that it's one of the most like socially and personally destructive products like on the planet right
Yeah.
now. Now that we have like gotten rid of leaded gasoline and a couple other things that were just literally killing everyone who bought it,
Yeah.
albeit slower than alcohol does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I enjoy beer.
Yeah. I mean I
You
have
know,
nothing against people that do
it's,
it socially responsibly.
yeah, exactly. My limits are like don't hurt yourself, don't hurt others, don't drink and drive, and just don't be a mess. Just
Sound,
never be that guy.
you sound like my dad. What are the rules of driving, Jared? Don't hit anyone or anything. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just good on your dad. That's solid advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go 9 over the speed limit and don't hit anything.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I'd like alcohol is fine with me. I'm fine with alcohol, but everyone knows their limit. Like somebody like you. You obviously know your limits, you know how to party.
Oh, definitely.
But there are some people
I used to live in a party house.
but there are some people that just, like their version of drinking is I want to get blacked out. Like that's
Yeah,
their end
exactly.
goal. And no.
Yeah, I mean, I basically adult grew up in a college town throwing keggers 2 to 3 nights a week
Yeah.
for 3 years straight. Like, there were people that never left that, and we're taught this was, 2007.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, dude, like, you're in a different state. You've been married twice. You have a kid. Like, how have you not left this life? Like, and that's where I'm just like, yeah, I will never pretend like alcohol is okay for everyone.
Yeah. Now there are certain it's like anything. Somebody knows their limits, somebody understands their limits, but at the same time there are some people that just don't know what they're doing, and
Yeah.
it's, I mean,
Yeah. And just generally, some people with addictive behaviors that can't
mhm.
easily be controlled.
Dude,
The same with gambling.
I'm 34. And sometimes it'll be like 9 o'clock at night. I'll get home off of work and I'll be like, cool, I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna play a video game for a little bit, go to bed by 2. Next thing I know, it's 6 in the morning. So the
Yeah.
sun's coming up, but like, fuck. Like I know, I struggle with that all the time. I struggle with doing what I want to do versus what I want to do, and it's hard, especially when you find something you like.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't drink or smoke, because I know that I have that addictive personality where it's like, if I like this, I like it and I go for it. And it's sometimes not a pretty thing when I go
Yeah.
for something.
Turns out it's not always fun or productive,
Yeah.
and it's when it comes to self-destruction, like being addicted and in that mindset constantly is just not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think marijuana should be legal.
Yeah.
I just definitely think that it should be somewhere around the level of where alcohol is treated, probably more along the lines of cigarettes when it comes to advertising.
Yeah.
I think alcohol advertising should actually take a back seat too.
That shit's a little ridiculous.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of a little bit much.
The Budweiser Super Bowl commercials, though, that shit's awesome. Like, remember the Clydesdales and stuff?
Yeah, but
Like,
like at the same time, like that's how they're getting you.
I mean, like,
It's like, God damn it, I love it. But also, like, I mean, was it Budweiser? Who did the Dilly Dilly commercials?
Dilly Dilly. Oh my god, Dilly Dilly. I gotta look that up now. I'm all, Dilly 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 Dilly. No, that's actually a company. Dilly Dilly.
Somewhat.
Bud Light.
Okay,
Bud
so it
Light.
was a
Yeah, it
Budweiser
was
thing.
Budweiser. Yeah.
Like there is a brewery in the Twin Cities area that made a beer called Dilly Dilly,
Mm-hmm.
and Budweiser
Sued him.
made like a production out of their cease and desist. They sent like an
Yeah.
old Englishman with a scroll,
That was amazing.
and it's just like stuff like that. It's like, how did you manage to wrap up some like legal jargon bullshit over naming rights, but also make it like one of the coolest and classiest ad campaigns like I've ever seen?
Yeah.
It's like that is the best delivery of like, you should stop this before we sue you into the ground, like I've ever seen.
Like, yeah, it was classy the way they did it. I akin it to, there was one guy in the phone that cussed me out the most beautifully way I've ever been cussed out before in my entire life. I wasn't even mad. Like, I was like, that was actually really good, man. Like, you feel better? He's like, yeah, I do. I was like, all right, we can continue now. But like, when you get cussed out or something bad happens, you get a little pissed off. I wasn't even mad. Like that, like if I got something like that from
Yeah,
like Budweiser or some shit that was like curated to me, I'd be like,
yeah,
I'll stop. Like that's
yeah.
cool.
It's
I'll
just like,
stop.
whoa, like that was creative.
Yeah.
You could have just sent a letter.
Yeah, that was great though. I do remember hearing about that. I feel kind of bad for those guys because weren't they doing like really really good too?
Oh, they still are. I'll actually be going to that brewery in the next couple weeks.
Did they?
They're called Modest. Shout outs.
Oh,
They make
okay.
awesome beer. Uh,
So they just changed their name.
oh no, it was a beer they made.
Oh, it was a
The beer
beer.
itself was called Dilly Dilly or
Oh, okay.
some variation of that. And I forget what they changed it to, but they just rebranded that one and then just don't use it anymore.
You hear about the Aunt Jemima rebrands and Uncle Ben's rebrands?
Yeah, I mean, it's on one hand, it's like I get it, but on the other hand, it's like whatever. It's been there.
Been there, done that.
It's it's like Disney with some of their old movies being like, hey, this is a product of the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you need to be aware of that. But also, there's a version that doesn't contain it.
Yeah.
It's like we don't need. I don't think we need like the stereotypical like mammy black woman being on the syrup bottle every time. Like,
Yeah.
it hasn't aged well, and I think it's totally okay to change it. But at the same time, if they were just like, yeah, we're also changing our name to be like, I don't know, special values, all inclusive syrup,
Yeah.
and like that's it. It's like, all right, no, now you're reaching too far. Like,
Yeah.
but
I just
also, I don't know, Aunt Jemima's not even that good. I'm a Hungry Jack guy.
Oh, I was about to say like there's really only one. There's two different syrups that are better than Aunt Jemima's: Hungry Jack and then the straight Canadian shit.
Yep.
I've had. I'm lucky enough because Natalie is my friend who lives up in British Columbia, Vancouver.
Okay.
One time, she sent me some really good chocolate, but she sent me like a 500 milliliter bottle of like real Canadian syrup.
That's
Dude,
good.
oh my god,
Yeah.
fucking, I love that
Yeah.
shit.
Just take a spoonful of it.
Yeah, God.
Not cheap though.
No, no, not cheap, but it was nice because she worked in the chocolate. She worked in a chocolate shop that sold all that stuff, so she got like a super discount.
It's a good hookup.
Yeah, well, she no longer works there.
Ah.
She works for a waste management company, which is kind of interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, no, going from chocolates and syrups to waste management.
I mean, there's good money in it because garbage is never going to stop.
No, oh yeah, they're homeless the biggest contracts is the homeless population. They just clean up.
Wow.
Well, like the homeless.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the homeless will move out of an encampment, and then they get paid by the city to go clean up that encampment. So
Huh.
as the homeless people transition around the city, they just follow them with their trucks and pick up everything. I guess. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Something that never occurred to me.
Yeah, yeah. dude. When you, that's why I reach out to people like you guys. I try to reach out, find out more. It's interesting the people I talk to. I literally just talked to a dude from Zimbabwe a couple days ago. No bullshit. Like he's
Oh
dope.
wow.
Yeah. So that'll be the not. That's the next podcast that comes out on the 4th. I think is when he drops, and then
Okay.
you'll drop on the 11th.
All right.
No,
Perfect.
I'm sorry. So Brian drops on the 11th. You'll drop on the 18th.
18th. All right.
Yeah, on the
Cool.
18th.
I'll
Um,
have to put that one down.
yeah, for sure. I usually it was all stupid because like my ex girlfriend used to go to work at like 3 in the morning, so I would purposely put the podcast out like Saturday morning, so that way she would
Okay.
have like an hour and a half to listen to me while she starts up. So
Aw.
yeah, but now go fuck her. She's a part of the Church and Satan and married to a dude who was a fan of the podcast that he and I that we built a podcast about serial killers, and then
Wow.
she wanted to do an episode on the Church of Satan because the Church of Satan was a pretty big thing, and the serial killers was like that's dope. And then there was a fan of the podcast that was a friend of a friend of a friend who lived near her, who was actually a part of the Church of Satan, and then he weaseled his way in, and now they're married after like 4 months of dating, which is interesting.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how that sucks.
No, I'm fine. No, like you don't have to say anything. Like I'm over it. It's been
No, I mean marriage after 4 months of dating.
Yeah.
That's I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like I'm in this weird spot where I know like as many people that are divorced as are married now.
Mhm.
It's like 4 months. That's probably
It's not gonna last.
yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I was an ordained minister at one point in time, and I think
Shit. All right.
2 or 3 out of the 10 marriages that I ordained are still together, if that, if that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I
Did you know going into it?
did I know going into what?
Like going into the wedding, you saw the like bride and groom together, and you're like, something's not right here.
A few of them. Oh yeah, like because I remember like I went into one and I was like, marriage is like a pretty. And they're like, shut the fuck up. I was like, all right, you got it. I was like, this is not gonna last. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
They're like, no, we know what we're doing.
It's like that.
Yeah.
All right.
This other one, this guy's like, I want to marry my girlfriend. Or one of my buddies comes up and he's like, hey, I got a friend of a friend who wants to get married to his girlfriend. Can you do it? I was like, yeah, I could do it. Like, when do you want to do it? Like today. Why today? Oh, he's deploying next week. I was like, you might want to think about this, buddy.
Yeah.
He
It's
was
like right up there with the. Oh, there's that volunteer group that goes to other places, but they have like a psych eval before it, where they're just like, we want to make sure that you're not like going crazy and doing this out of desperation.
oh, like not Jehovah's Witnesses, but the missionaries, like a lot
Yeah.
of missionaries. Yeah. Um,
We'll
it's
do 9 months here. It's just like, well, we have to check if you're trying to escape
yeah.
debts or did you just go through a bad breakup?
That makes me wonder like how many people do that stuff like with the Red Cross and shit where they're like,
Yeah.
let's go overseas for 9 months because something happened to me. Oh, like dude, when she
Yeah.
broke up with me, I was like, can I become a merchant marine? Like, can I become like a mercenary for hire and just go over somewhere third world country? Like let's see if Blackwater's still hiring. And I was like, no, let's calm down. Stick with the cheese
Yeah.
job. Stick with the cheese job.
Yeah, maybe. We all make bad decisions from time to time when our hearts are broken.
Yeah. Although I did find a lot of great heavy metal bands. That is the one
Oh, well, there you go.
yeah, one positive thing I'll take out of that breakup. I had a lot of I experimented a lot with heavy metal and I found a lot of great bands. So I'm excited.
More power to you there.
Yeah.
Music's a good outlet.
Yeah. It's a good outlet, but it's not a good outlet when you're on a forklift lifting a ton of cheese. So
I've never had that problem.
I used to have that problem. It gets so boring running in and out of a freezer, doing nothing but transporting a ton of cheese on a forklift, running back and forth in the middle of winter, trying not to freeze your ass off.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, love Wisconsin weather, love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the same here. So,
All right, so Way 2 podcast. I'm definitely gonna
Yeah.
link that stuff. Are you do you have any episodes out on like Spotify or iTunes?
no, not yet. Actually, we're gonna hopefully be recording on Saturday, and it should be out on Monday.
Ooh, quick turnaround time. All right.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. I don't know. We're pretty informal and lazy, so.
All right. Well, if you want some assistance, go ahead and hit me up on Skype. I can definitely help you guys with a real easy process of recording and all that stuff if you don't already
Oh,
have all it
awesome.
down.
Yeah, I'd absolutely love to pick your brain about that.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of easy things to do. There, like the way that I do it is fairly easy, especially with the audio video. It takes like 2 seconds. So I don't know what you guys are planning, but yeah, just let me know. I can definitely help you out. I'd love to. It can be super stupid and easy, really, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
cool, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Anything else? Any other social media you want to pimp out or what have you?
No, just YouTube, Twitch, same thing on both.
All right, man.
Uh, yeah, a Patreon account exists. That's about it.
Well, I hope you guys blow up enough to have a decent amount of subscribers on Patreon. That would be nice.
I'm sure we'll get like $8 a month like a year from now.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man. Gotta
You know,
gotta grind for that $8.
free Netflix or something.
Yeah. Well, Nate, I really appreciate you coming on. Hang tight. I'll grab some information from me afterward. All right, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, to all of those still listening after this very lengthy podcast, which was a great thing, I love your faces. I hope you guys are all having a great day and enjoy yourselves. Bye now.